Welcome to the Language in Motion podcast, where we share inspiration, tips, and tricks from stories of success and failure on the language learning journey.
Our next guest is Angelica. She is fluent in English and Spanish and also speaks German and French and is a native Italian speaker. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
In your opinion, what has been the most important factor for your success learning languages?
For me, for example, is my skills are musical. So I get in love with a group from, for example, from Spain, and to understand the song, to understand the words, the lyric of the song. So I concentrate more. For example, with the sentences they use in the normal life. For example, a quien madruga, Dios le ayuda. Who wake up early, God will help him. And so with these funny sentences, you learn earlier because you start to memorize the words, the verbs, and I fell deeply in love with a couple of groups. So I really was into the songs, and I really wanted to sing properly the song, not just la la la.
And what aspects were particularly challenging for you when you were learning Spanish and English, and how did you overcome these challenges?
The false friends. The false friends are a challenge, I guess, in all the languages you study, especially similar ones like Spanish and Italian. For example, primo. Italian is first, in Spanish is cousin. Is what? And I said, primo, your cousin what? No. For example, or similar word. Well, one comes into my mind that are tricky because there is some letters that change, but they're very similar to each other, and it's not a polite joke, but pajita, pajilla. One is the chopstick, and the other one is the straw. One is straw, and the other one is another sexual stuff. And I always think, so you go for a straw, but you're asking for something else.
That's embarrassing.
Actually, I think when the biggest problem I faced when I learn another language is that in certain terms I lose a part of my native language. I mix, I fusion everything. That's it. That's the I think the biggest problem for me, because like I enrich the Italian.
You create new words.
Yes.
Nice. And so how would you say you overcome these two challenges?
Make people laugh sometimes, but before and after you will learn how to use properly the words.
And so this is connected, the next question is connected to what we were just saying, but were there any particularly embarrassing moments that you remember as a language learner? And how do you think they influenced your experience?
To the embarrassing moment. Oh, yes. For example, llevar and llegar. Llevar is to bring, and llegar is to arrive. And I always mix one with another. I used to say, I bring to Rome. What? Or I arrive a bottle of wine. And people were, Angelica is the contrary. Uh, be patient with me.
And do you think that those moments influenced your experience as a language learner?
Yes, they influence my personal experience with learning a language mainly, and it's good in such term because people reminds you because of this situation, and so it's easier to make friends also.
And how have you overcome the difficulties of maintaining fluency in more than one language?
Reading a lot
Mm-hmm.
comes from my family education. My father gets very angry when I say that I don't read anything.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy, I'm smoking. Okay. What are you reading? Nothing. What?
If you had to summarize them, what are your top tips for language learners?
Listen to music, to read a particular writer, something like that. To,
Mm-hmm.
yes, to
So
get
to
in.
try to immerse yourself.
Yes, to immerse yourself. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And did you study only English when you were young, or did you also study French, or when did French come into your life?
My French came into my life like 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
In my previous job, they offer us a French course,
Mm-hmm.
and I really enjoyed with
Mm-hmm.
with a very good teacher that used to make us read the newspaper. That I think is another good way to get involved into a language with
Mm-hmm.
uh, the what happens in your day life and in the world day life
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
very interesting.
Mm-hmm. So English was the only language that you've studied since you were young.
Yes.
And what about your dialect?
Oh, my dialect. Well, but in Italy, the dialect they change from a province to other.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, technically, you had three languages from when you were very young.
But normally dialects from the south similarities and similarities between dialects from the north. No, never from similarities with south and north.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
There is like a boundary.
Nice. And when you go home, then do you speak at all in dialect with your family, or do you speak in Italian?
Well, we normally we speak Italian. Just when we are a little bit pissed off, we start to speak
Mm.
dialect. It's more to make the other person understand that he has to stop that you say something in dialect. My
Mm-hmm.
father was very involved in my language education. So he was very, he cares a lot not to speak in dialect at all, because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, when we went to the university, it would be more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and another strange thing that happened to me and came to my mind when I went to university, the first day in the south of Italy, we used to use as a formal way to speak with